Okay, I'm a little behind on editing and it is day 7 and I thought I would show how much these are already starting to grow. They're starting to sprout a little bit and got roots. This one's really got lots of roots. I don't know if it's sprouting much yet, but sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. I have had a few here and there that don't end up sprouting, but generally they always do, especially if they root. So I don't know if you can tell, there's some there and there's some here too. You can kind of see it there, but yeah, they are already starting to do stuff and it's only day 7. I'll show you the other ones here in just a second. Here is the other way we're growing the sweet potatoes, and it's also 7 days later, and they are doing so good. They already have really nice leaves on them. There's quite a few sprouts coming up. There's some here, and then there's also some here that are starting, and they are doing super good. We also have those on the heat pack too, and they're right in front of the window and they are doing great. So hopefully we will have the same results with this experiment this year, and this may be the way to go from now on. It's day 8 and look at how much the sweet potatoes have grown. If I can get it to focus here. There's too much green, it doesn't know what to focus on, but we have that going on. They're starting to sprout a little bit. Look at how big some of those roots are, and look at this one. That is insane after 8 days. Now it still doesn't have anything up top, so hopefully it will end up sprouting some. This one has just a little bit of roots, but it is already sprouting, and then this one also doesn't have anything, but I think it has a few little roots there, and I'll go over and show you how good the others are looking. Okay, it's day 8 for these sweet potatoes too that we're doing in the pot, and they are doing great. Like, look at how big all of those leaves are. There's so many coming up. Like, if you look over here, there's more. I thought there was more starting over here. Yeah, you can kind of see them right there. So these ones are doing great. The leaves look good. So I think this is definitely going to be the way to go. I'm really curious if we have the same results this year. Okay, so it is day 13 since we started these, and we have lots of roots, but this one still has nothing. I did not have sprouts on these to start. This is another reason why you want to get those. But yeah, these may just be duds. Hopefully they'll do something, but if not, it'll be all right. These are the white sweet potatoes that did have some sprouts, and they're already starting to put leaves on, and they have lots of roots there. This one also did not work very well. Hopefully it will put something on. I'm not sure if it will, but it's got lots of roots. And then this other white sweet potato. And I'll go show you the other ones that are in front of the window. Okay, so these are the ones that we did in the soil, and they are done so tall that they are like going through the shelf. I don't know if you can see that. They are so massive. They have big leaves on them. Like, look at the size of those leaves, and there are sprouts just coming up all over. So I am a lot happier with this one yet again. So there I used like garden planting calendar to do all of my planting, and what I'm going to do on the next very fertile day that's below ground day is I'm going to take all of these little slips here, and I am going to pot them up in little pots, and then even more of these will grow, so we'll have lots more plants. So I just cannot believe the difference in 13 days of how these look compared to the other ones. I think this is definitely my favorite method. Hey y'all, today is a below ground planting day, or a dark moon phase day, as well as a very fertile day based on the astrological signs. So I thought it would be a good day to go ahead and do some work with the sweet potatoes. I planted these on February 27th, and today is March 17th, so it has not been very long, but I cannot believe the difference in the methods that we used. I noticed it last year, but this year it is even more dramatic. Here's some of our sweet potatoes. These are the white sweet potatoes, and they are quite small, and these Beauregard sweet potatoes, they still have yet to sprout. So I'm not too happy with that, but I cannot believe the pot. Like, these plants, I don't know if you can tell, the garden helper is sniffing at everything. They are already massive. Like, honestly, with this method, I think I can probably even not start them as soon. They are doing so good, but we're gonna go ahead, since they are growing like mad, we're gonna go ahead and pot some of these up, and we'll see how many plants we will end up with by the end of today. Okay, so I was gonna also just show next to this the difference in the starting the sweet potato slips in the water. Like, look at that, those have none. This one has a little bit, so I don't know if you can see. It has a little bit, but nothing compared to this. And here's this one. So I'm just gonna leave the ones in the jars completely alone. I'm not going to take any slips off of those because they are way behind these, but these are getting so massive that I really need to do that. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to kind of look through this. I did this in 2 blocks. So this block over here, I believe, is the Beauregard, and this block over here is the white sweet potatoes. So what I do is I just go through. I don't know if this is the correct way. This is just what I do. So I will go through and I'll just peel them off like that. Look at that. That's your roots and everything. And we'll see how many we end up with, how many plants. Even something like that, they will just continue to root, and that will be just fine. So we'll get that. Actually, this one's probably a small one. I don't know. It didn't really have a root, so I may have picked that one too early. But after picking all of these, they will put on another flush too later on, like in a few weeks to a month whenever I come back and do this. So that will be nice. We will have even more. So we're gonna, I don't know if these will do anything. I may put them in a pot and see, but this is why I like to cover them with the soil, because they tend to put out roots. Like you can see, these ones don't have roots, whereas these that are in the soil, like look at that, that is the roots you get. So that's why I like to cover them up. I found that that works a lot better. Don't know if this one was in the soil enough. Yep, there it is. It has some what is it, roots on it. But these, uh-oh, I didn't mean to break that one off, but I guess we'll try a pot and see if they'll do anything. These ones don't have roots on them yet, so I'm gonna just go ahead and leave those. Let's see, these ones, yeah, those don't have roots either, so we'll just put those to the side. I probably shouldn't have done those yet. Okay, so I think that's everything for the white sweet potatoes. I need to see which one this one's going to. Yes, this one is definitely the orange sweet potato or the Beauregard. So we'll just go ahead and pull this one up. And like, look at those roots. That's great. That is so good. So we'll keep them separate. So I'll put the Beauregards over here. We'll go ahead and pull all of these up. Like, look at that one. Look at the leaf on that. That is crazy. The difference. Like last year, my other ones didn't seem to do nearly as well, and I think I am sold on this method from now on. I think this is going to be the way I'm going to start my sweet potatoes. And if you're in the South, sweet potatoes do so good. They are so easy to take care of. They're relatively drought tolerant, and they are so productive. So I highly suggest them. They are really easy to do. Oh, I just broke off the sweet potato, but I think it'll be okay. We have a ton in there. So, and that's why it broke off. We had so much coming off of that one little area. My goodness, that was loaded. So we'll go ahead and separate this out into a few plants. We are going to end up with quite a few already. So what I do is I usually do this at least once, if not twice. I will come through and harvest, or like kind of take all these slips off, and then usually there's enough of time that it will grow again. I generally don't plant my sweet potatoes out until about May, sometime around Mother's Day. Wow, look at that one. That is so long. So yeah, that's what I generally do. And that is one thing about sweet potatoes. They do have really long vines, and it can kind of seem like they're going to take things over, but you can like step on the vines and they will be fine. So it's really not that big of a deal. But if you don't really want, I guess, your garden to look like that, that is something to consider. But you can always cut them back. You can even eat the leaves. I'm not a fan of that, but it's another option you can do. There are so many different things, and even bunnies, if you have pets or something like that, they love the leaves. So this is like one massive cluster. I don't think I can break that apart, but that is a massive, going to be a massive plant. So I think we'll leave these since those didn't have roots. Oh, these might have roots here. These are also the white sweet potatoes. Yeah, so we got roots here. I don't know if I can break that up into a few plants. I think I can. So I think we'll set those over here. We are going to already end up with so many. That is awesome. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave these since those don't have roots. And we'll just set that to the side, and I will show you how I pot this up from here. So I like to use these Dollar Tree containers. They're what do they call them, like dish pans. I've had these for years and years. I got them when Dollar Tree was still only $1. And then I will take these pots that I saved. I like to use those, especially these square ones. It fits in here a lot better. And we'll go ahead and get some soil. I just have soil that I had got from Walmart, and that's what I have here. So I have it in a 5-gallon bucket here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit of soil in here, and then we'll put these ones, we'll start with these ones that haven't rooted yet. I don't know if they'll do anything. So we'll just, actually I think we'll set that to the side and we'll come back to that, and we'll get these ones that are rooted. Actually, I don't know if you can see with it sitting in there. So I put about that much soil in it, about halfway or so. It depends on how long your sweet potato is. You may want to plant it a little bit deeper and how big it is, but you make sure and get all the roots in there and stick it in. Try and get in the middle as best as you can, and then just fill it the rest of the way up with soil. And also, don't forget to water these. So we're going to go ahead and push. I like to push the soil down around it too, just a little bit. Not like be really rough with it or anything. Be kind of gentle. And then we'll just keep working on that and get all of these filled up. So another thing is, what did I do with my pots? There they are. Another thing is I generally do not plant my sweet potatoes out until around Mother's Day. They do not like the cold at all. So like the lowest of the nighttime low temperatures that I like it to be before I plant them is around 60 degrees. So I try and wait until it's warm like that to plant mine. They are very frost tender. You want to be sure and harvest them and everything before your first frost. They really do not like the frost, and it will like stunt them, and they just really won't do very well at all if you do that. So that's the only negative, is they are a little bit frost tender, and they do kind of take over your garden, but I think it's kind of fun because they just kind of go everywhere and are beautiful. And also they have beautiful kind of white and purple flowers. Whenever they start to make the tubers, they will put off flowers, and they are so pretty. They are one of my favorite flowers, and the pollinators absolutely love them. So they are really awesome. Also the bunnies, like I said, they like to eat the greens too. And whenever you go to harvest these, you don't want to eat them right away. They need time to cure, so they need like a couple of weeks. And I don't put mine anywhere special. I just have crates in my kitchen that I store them in, and they stay that way from in the fall whenever we harvest them. I'm trying to remember. It just depends on our last frost. It can either be the end of October, or last year it was almost the end of November. And then we just need to let them sit for about 2 weeks, and then you're ready to eat them. They are super good, and they do not start sprouting until probably, I don't know, they sprout a little bit in February, and they're still perfectly fine to eat. But they really start sprouting in like April and into May. I don't think I've kept mine any longer than May. So I think I'm going to go ahead and keep potting all of these up. We'll see how many we end up with. And also I need to show, let's see, where do I have it? Just one moment. I got to go find what I did with this. Okay, I just forgot to grab it. But another thing I was going to show is what I like to use is tags. Since I am growing 2 different varieties here, I want to kind of keep track of what they are. And I have found that blinds are the best thing to use for tags. They last forever in the garden, and they're really easy to spot too whenever you're cleaning up your garden against the compost and everything. But what I do also is use a pencil, not a permanent marker. That always fades for me, but this will last last for years and years. So I'm just going to go ahead and write white SP. I abbreviate for sweet potatoes since we're going to be making quite a few labels and they tear really easily. So they are great. I was just going to go ahead and show that, because that has been so nice to have labels that don't just like disappear on you in the garden, because the writing would always disappear, and then you have mystery plants. So that's what I was going to show as well. Okay, so we got all of the white sweet potatoes potted up. I ended up with a whole flat, which is 9 for me in these dish racks with these pots. And I also took notes too and wrote that these ones were the set that didn't have roots. That way I can kind of look at that and see how they're doing. Now this soil that I got in the shed was not very moist, so I'm going to go ahead and water a little bit from the top too, but my favorite way to water is just to bottom water. So I make sure that the water is filled up, I don't know, probably to about like there or so, especially at first with the soil. The dog's sad. But yeah, I usually fill it up about that much with the water at first, and then I do a little bit less, like just a smidge of water down in the bottom. I make sure it has that about every day, and I generally let it dry out too. That way it's just not sitting in water. But that's what I do. And then I also put these in the window, a south facing window, and then whenever we're having nice days where it's like 70 degrees or more, I make sure and put them outside, but I'm careful to put them to where they're not getting too much sun. That way they don't get burnt, and just try and harden them off a little bit. Okay, we're gonna move on to the Beauregard sweet potatoes next. Okay, so we're going to move on to the Beauregards, and I totally forgot before we continue on with the white sweet potatoes. Those are great. I do not know the variety. They were given to us, but they are so good. They kind of taste like a cross between a regular sweet potato and a white potato, but with butter on them. They are so good, and they're not nearly as productive as these Beauregards, but they are so good. We grow them just because they are amazing. So these are your like classic sweet potatoes, the orange flesh sweet potatoes, the Beauregards. So that's what I started growing years and years ago. I started off with just a 6-pack set that I had got at a store, and I have started saving my seeds from there. But these ones are insanely productive. I am always amazed at how good they do and how productive they are. They are just, to me, they're just like, I can't sing the praises of them, I guess, enough, because they are so amazing. Like, look at that plant. In just like a little over 2 weeks, like 3 weeks, maybe, not even, and it's that big. So honestly, with the other variety, doing it the other method, I may be able to put this off until more March, the end of March instead of February, since I don't plant them out into May anyways, because this set of this flush, I'm probably going to have to repot. But that will also be kind of a fun little experiment too, because we will be able to see if we get any bigger potatoes or more production or anything like that. And I'll just probably change my notes up on my tags a little bit. That way I know if they've been like double potted up or anything like that. So I'll just try and keep good notes, and I think that'll be fun. I love experimenting in the garden and seeing what we could learn, because it's always nice whenever you can have more production and stuff. But I have never had a problem with sweet potatoes. With my regular potatoes, I had to do amending to the soil. I struggled with them for forever to grow them, and I had to do quite a bit of amending to the soil. But for me, I have never had to add anything. I guess maybe it's because we're in the South, but I just got compost from the city that's not too horribly far away from us, and that's what I filled all of my garden beds with. And they have always done amazing, and like I said, I've never added anything to get them to grow. They just grow so easily and are super productive. So I think we're going to go ahead and get all these put together, and we'll see how much we end up with the Beauregards. Okay, so I ended up with only 8. I was 1 off on the Beauregard sweet potatoes. It's crazy to think. You'd think I'd have so much more. There's so much more plant material here, but there was only 8. And I have one pot that has 2 little starts here that didn't have roots, so I'll be able to try it on both the white sweet potatoes and the Beauregard and see if they will root like this too. I think that's kind of fun, and I'm kind of curious to how that'll work. And I'm gonna go ahead and water these, and I will continue to give these another try. I'm not sure that I will be doing this again, but I'll be sure and change the water every week. And then I also have my other pot over here, oh my, that is heavy, that I'm gonna grow, and I will just continue to take slips off of this on the dark moon phase, very fertile days, and we'll see how many we end up with. So we've got 17 here right now, I believe, and I need 27 for my 4x16 bed. I plant them with my peppers, and I found that they make great companions, so I need at least that many. So hopefully we'll get another flush off of this, and maybe these will have grown enough to where we can do that again. So it'll probably be in another 3 to 4 weeks or so we'll get some more off, and hopefully I will be able to show you all of that then as well. Hold up, wait a minute, don't go just yet. It is 10 days later and I still have not got to this video, so I thought I would go ahead and show what the potatoes look like in the water. I took this one out to make sure it would fit in the container, and then this one's got a little bit bigger, and then these that I thought were duds are actually not duds. They actually have a little bit going on there. This one's even more. But I have decided, since these are really not doing so well, like these would be super short, like even this one, it would be super short to root that in some water. I've decided I'm gonna go ahead and try and repot it in this, and we're gonna just give this a try. Another reason I decided to do that is because it's like basically eliminating a whole step with doing the sweet potato slips. Whenever you do it this way, you have to like take the slip off and then you have to root it, whereas if you do it in the soil, they already have roots and everything. So I think this is just the better way to go. So I'm going to convert everything to this way, and I'm just going to stick with it. So I'm going to set you up and I'll show you how I'm going to do this, and also something else I wanted to show as well. Okay, so I'm going to show how I'm going to do this here since we're kind of doing this a little different. It's already got all these leaves here, and I may not have got enough of containers to do this. So I'm going to just do the white sweet potatoes. Look at the roots on that. That's doing really good. But what I'm going to do, yeah, there's no way I'm going to fit all of these in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to plop that in there, and then I'm going to try and not make a mess here, and we're gonna make sure we cover up these roots here really good. And then I'm also gonna put just a little bit of soil in this way, but I'm gonna make sure I put plenty of soil around here. I kind of messed up, or whenever I did the other, I didn't get enough of soil around there, and it's not putting on roots. So that's another thing we gotta address on the other one. I'll show you. But yeah, make sure you get lots and plenty of soil right there so they will make roots. I think we're almost good there. Go ahead and add another one. I may just cover the whole thing. There we go. And also, don't forget to water. I'm gonna go ahead and just use the same water it was in. So we'll just do that, and we'll not waste it, not waste the filtered water. I think it could use a little bit more. This soil was in the shed, so we'll go ahead and give it quite a bit of water. And I probably need to add a little bit more soil. I can see some roots here since I did that. So we'll go ahead and top it off and make sure we get enough there. So I think that will work. I'm gonna go ahead and just top these off too. And this is just soil that I had got at Walmart. Just a big bag. I think it was kind of their brand. I just got whatever looked pretty cheap, and I'll have to do the other ones here in just a minute. So we have that one, and like I said, make sure you cover those slips. I've learned that is really, really important, and I also have learned that this is my favorite method. So here we go. So you can see last time I did this, like whatever that was, 10 days ago, that I couldn't do this because it hadn't rooted, and you can see it's a really, really big plant here. So we're going to take more of the soil, and we are going to make sure and cover it really good. That way we get roots, and this will be so nice too, because whenever we pull these off, we won't have to root it in the water. So I'm really happy with that decision. I think this is forever the method that I'm going to be using. I'm just going to try and cover all that really good. But yeah, this is great. I'm definitely going to be doing this method from now on. So thank you all again for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Y'all take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye.